Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Coffee Cast, live for those who tune in on Twitch, but we love our VOD viewers as well. It is episode 8. Super happy that we're almost at double digits. We are joined by the usual Glenn, Marco, aka Rey Mysterio, and Mark. Absolute
Hello.
W's in the chat for this, and we've got a lot of good content this week. Especially because Marco's going to do his 3x3, because he wasn't here the last time we did this. So we're going to let
That's
him
right.
have his moment. His big
Thank you.
moment.
Thank you. I appreciate that introduction. I just want to say I know I don't talk a lot on this podcast. I'm quiet. I'm very quiet. So I'm glad that I can have this moment.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Well, I'll just give you the floor straight up. I mean, I don't think you need any introduction at this point. The people know you. So
Okay.
we'll go
Okay.
here, and I'll kind of just let you go crazy, man. Some titles I also like are on this list. So
Sweet.
super
Well,
curious to see what you say.
yeah. Well, anybody that's looking at the 3x3 is basically getting a whole history of like where I came from when it came to playing video games growing up. And I would have loved to share this on the day everyone else was sharing it. But the reality is, I fell asleep. So I was not available for that day. I pulled a Jeremy from Phineas and Ferb where he's holding a chicken drumstick and a gallon of milk on the couch and he just falls asleep. That's what that image looked like. I just closed my eyes for 5 minutes, and 5 minutes turned into 2 hours. So, anyways, without further ado, let's take a look at what we have here. So, there's no particular hierarchy here. These are just, this is the Mount Rushmore. This is the pantheon for me of games. But what I will do is I will try to go in a sort of chronological order of when I sort of discovered these games and started playing them a lot,
Mhm.
and when they left their big impact on me. So if we look at the beginning of all of this, if we look at like a fetus Marco, I was a huge, crazy fan of the Ratchet and Clank series
Based.
growing up. So I played from the very first one on the PS2, and I really loved how, he's from that era of like mascot games where they have attitude, right? They have a little bit of an edge to them and whatever, but also it was the fact that this entire setting of this universe was very I don't know, different from what probably has come before, where it was a little bit of this tech corporate dystopian world where everybody's very greedy for bolts. The main character is a dickhead as well, which was cool. And also, the fun thing is all the weapons and gadgets you get to use. Also, I'm a huge fan of the fact that Ratchet and Clank went the drum and bass garage kind of route for its music. So it was a lot of like heavy synth and techno and just drum and bass. So it was really cool. It really stood out to me. And I don't think any other game has really uh, for a long time, kind of done that sort of thing. At least not in that time.
Yeah.
So that was the first Ratchet and Clank. Then I played Going Commando, which was the second one, which was great. Had fun with that one too. But then I think Up Your Arsenal was really where I really enjoyed it the most. It felt like it took from the first two games and then really bundled it up and made it super fun. Very replayable. Just a very replayable game. Um, the gadgets are super fun, the weapons are super fun, and the movement is great. It's a game that moves well. You
Mhm.
feel it's very snappy. It feels very nice to move around. So, especially as a platformer and everything like that. So I really do love that game. That's one of those games that I would always come back to in the early PS2 era. Um, definitely up there. Definitely up there as like my big PS2 game. However, that's for, let's say, more of a platformer category,
Yeah.
action platformer, right?
Mhm.
Um, In another PS2 era game, my sort of favorite fighting game of all time is Soul Calibur 3.
Good choice.
And yeah, so it was I actually started on Soul Calibur 2 on the PS2.
Same.
I went backwards and tried out Soul Calibur 1, and then when Soul Calibur 3 came out, I got that and I was just blown away. And it's kind of sad that the series just never seemed to manage to hit the same kinds of highs that Soul Calibur 3 did.
Mhm.
They tried to replicate it a bunch of times in every other subsequent game, but there was the whole what is it called, like Chronicles of the Sword campaign, where you were managing units and you
Yeah.
were making a character and you were leveling them up and you had classes and things like that. And then there was like that arena with the mini games that had different types of ways to play the game. Then you had your standard kind of story mode with the arcade ladder mode, and then you had like hidden characters, secret boss fights, and stuff like that. It was just fantastic. It was just like there was so much love poured into that game, and I really felt it. And it felt like it was the first like great gateway for fighting games for me. Like I think the reason I love fighting games as much as I do is because I had so much fun with Soul Calibur 3. And it got me into more complex fighting games. Then I started playing Tekken, and Tekken's really fun and silly. It's also a Namco product, so that was great. Then I started switching over into more 2D fighters. So I was playing, I play a lot of Skullgirls, a lot of
Oh yeah.
Guilty Gear, things like that. So I have to give thanks to Soul Calibur 3. Without that, I probably never would have been as curious to get into fighting games um, when I did. So that's why I like Soul Calibur 3. Awesome game, super super duper fun. And then yeah, so then let's go more towards the PS3 era, right?
Mhm. Yeah.
PS3 era, we got we got Little Big Planet 2 and Saints Row 2. There's a lot of numbers in this list. There's a lot of just numbered games. But I started with Little Big Planet 1, and that was just one of those like lightning in a bottle games where it's not just a platformer of just getting across the map to the end, right? It was about creating. It was about, creating your own levels, sharing them online, hopping in with other players, just playing all sorts of random levels together. It was so much fun. It was so much fun. And then Little Big Planet 2 came out, and it just took everything from the first game. And it's one of those instances where I'll say, like, the sequel is literally just what made the first game work and just up it by 10. And so it took literally everything from the first game, added it into the second game, and then just added a bunch of new stuff. And that game, absolutely addicting. The servers are gone now. They're shut down. Media Molecule, which are the ones that made Little Big Planet 1 and 2, they decided to make a game making engine
Oh
thing
yeah,
called
Dreams. Yeah.
Dreams. And they said that obviously it was always sort of their idea that, Little Big Planet 1 and 2 were kind of like, okay, you're making things within this game, but they ultimately wanted to make games, or like, I'll give people the platform to make just entire games. And I don't know how successful that was for them, and so it was a little disappointing when they were like, yeah, we're done. We don't want to make more Little Big Planet, so we're just going to hand it off to like another studio. And then Little Big Planet 3 was kind of a mess on release because it was just like game breaking bugs
Yeah.
that were coming out. So it kind of lost steam. And well, we haven't heard from Little Big Planet in years now. Sackboy, which is the little creature in the
The
in
little
the
guy.
picture, the little guy. Um, yeah, he used to be like the Sony mascot for a while.
Yeah.
And I
No,
think now it's just Astrobot. I think
Yeah.
Astrobot is like the
it
new
definitely is.
mascot. Yeah. So which is fine. Like
Yeah.
there's no grievances. It wasn't like Media Molecule wanted to make a third game, and then Sony told them they couldn't do that. It was just like
Yeah.
they decided, like, no, we're done. We did what we wanted to do, and now we're going to do something else. I think that's way more of a nice ending than, oh, we had ideas for this, we had plans for this, and corporate meddling got in the way, and now
Yeah.
we can't do it anymore. You know, so that's fine. Little Big Planet 2, awesome. Just if the servers were still up, that'd be great, but I understand that they're not. That's fine. Yeah, and then we have Saints Row 2. Um, it was tough because I was thinking, should I put a GTA game up here? And I've played like most of the GTA series,
Yeah.
even the more uh not as popular spin-off titles. I played Liberty City Stories. I've played Vice City Stories, which are great. They're
They
great.
are good.
They're very underappreciated compared to the mainline series. And it was tough for me, but I'm gonna have to give it to Saints Row 2 because I literally bought a like old used Xbox to go back and play Saints Row 1 because it was an Xbox exclusive. That's how much it left an impact on me that I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go backwards and like just play through this whole series so I can see, what the first one was like. And for anyone that's a Saints Row fan, you'll know that the first Saints Row is very much trying to be GTA, and it's trying to be very serious. It's trying to. It took itself, pretty serious. And that's where the accusation started with, oh, this is just like a dollar store GTA clone. It's trying to cash in on GTA 4, which I believe had come out around the time. And it's a cheap copy. It has a great story though. It does have a very interesting story. But gameplay, it felt very limited because it was trying to still be somewhat grounded
Yeah.
in what you could do. Whereas Saints Row 2 was this super interesting like playground of a city where it was wacky. There was a lot to do. There were so many side missions and things like that. And they were goofy, and it was great. But then at the same time, the main story kind of remained grounded for the most part, and there were a lot of dark moments. There's a lot of dark moments, and it was this beautiful thing where if you want the series, the main storyline, and you just want to focus on that, you can. That's
Hmm.
fine, and it's a great story. It's a great narrative. But if you want to just fuck around and you just want to blow stuff up and you just want to do these fun, wacky side quests, side mission things, that's available for you.
Yeah.
You can choose all of that. And there were these little things, okay? There are these little things that happen in the game that are not advertised. These are not like part of the main story, part of any mission. That there's just like these little details put into the world that I had not seen up until then. So, for example, if you flip through the radio, sometimes, very rarely, your character will start singing along to the music on the radio.
That's cool.
Mhm.
And
I remember
so
that.
I didn't know
I
that.
do
I
remember
didn't
that too.
yeah. Yeah, and so it was awesome. It was one of those things that my mouth was just open when I saw that because I was like, wait, like, what am I hearing? That's not the radio. And then I go, oh, it's the character singing along the way you would, in the car. You're driving the car and you sing along to a song. It was awesome. There's just like these little details, a lot of love. And it's really tragic because it's really tragic to be a Saints Row fan because I think a lot of people fell in love with the series and on the second game like I did. And we all hope that Saints Row 3 would be just more of that, maybe even bigger or something.
Yeah.
And you know, Saints Row 3 still has a pretty okay story, but it kind of just how I just said that the second game has a serious story and then wacky, side content.
Yeah.
Well, Saints Row 3 starts bleeding like, okay, it's a wacky story, and wacky content on the side. So you really never get to breathe and just like get a change of mood. It's always just wacky and over the top and stuff. So and and it gets worse with the fourth game where it's just like, no, now you have superpowers and there's aliens and you're like trapped in
Yeah.
a simulation. And so I was like, all right. Was it fun? Was it definitely like a fun playground kind of almost sandbox environment? Sure. Yeah. Is it at all recognizable to what I fell in love with? No. No, not at
Yeah,
all.
that's
I
fair.
mean, yeah, you start
Definitely.
from, in the first game, you start from somebody joining the Third Street Saints. Like you have to get jumped in, they beat you up. Second game, you're the leader. Third game, you're still the leader, but now you're like a celebrity. You're doing commercials
Yeah.
And
for
like a
the
corporation owner,
yeah, and you're
like
like
a
basically a
energy drink.
corporation owner, right? Yeah, for energy drinks.
Yes, I remember
And then fourth game, you are president of the United States.
that. Yes.
So
That's how it
it
goes.
it really fell apart in that fourth game, man. It
it
really
really
did.
did. It really did. Yeah, and for years and years, people were always saying, like, listen, just go back to what made the second game so good. And that's when Volition said, okay, we will reboot the series. And everybody was so excited. And then the reboot came out.
Yeah.
And I am typically not one to immediately refund things, but I gave it like an hour. I gave that game like an hour, and they did like the quirky millennial thing, and I
Yeah.
was just like,
It was
"Oh
bad, dude.
my god, this is actually
I
horrible."
remember getting panned.
It was no, it
Yeah.
was terrible. It was also an Epic Store exclusive, which is like, wow, you really
Oh my
did
god, I
not want to
forgot
give
about
yourself
that.
any
Yeah.
success. You did not. I downloaded
Yeah.
the Epic Store just for that, and I played it, refunded it, and when I heard that Studio Volition was getting shut down, I know we always talk about like, man, that's so horrible. I went, thank God. Stop ruining Saints Row. You know what? It's better that you just this whole thing sinks and like you guys can't hurt Saints Row anymore. Then we keep getting shit like that. Like, no, just stick to I don't know, use those computer science skills for something else. Put the fries in the bag. It's fine.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's my like top, let's say, open world sandboxy crime game,
Yeah.
compared to GTA. See, I hear thousands of crying voices in the chat right now saying, Marco, but Yakuza Zero is an open world crime game. Yeah, but like it's more grounded, right? There is still more of this sort of linear path to it, which I know
Yes.
it's like, wait, what do you mean? But it is more story based, right? It is a little more story based, and yeah. So, anyways, we'll get there though. We will get there. So,
Chat's cooking you for calling that game grounded, by the way.
well, I know that that's gonna be what people are gonna say. I trust me. I've played the game. I know that it gets ridiculous. I
Oh
know
yeah,
that it
yeah.
gets ridiculous, but you have to admit that the story of Yakuza Zero kind of is one of the more serious ones of the series.
Yeah, definitely.
It's young
I agree.
Kiryu, young Majima. Majima's not crazy yet. He's not
Mhm.
insane in that one. He actually has a love interest and he has like his own problems and he's running a club. He's like he's really cool. And it's kind of this tragic origin story for him. So I don't know. It is more grounded in some sense, but
Mhm.
obviously there is still the absolute ridiculous like sub stories and stuff like that. And I love it. It's great. I also love the open world. It's not as big as GTA or Saints Row, but it's not trying to be. It's trying to be more dense, right?
Mhm.
Than just open, like wide open. Are you able to go through all of Japan? No, but in the city locations that you're in, you can pretty much go into like every building and every shop and every little nook and cranny has something to do
Yeah.
for you. So that's great and it feels very lived in. And as someone who lived in Japan and has been to those locations in the game, it is incredible the level of detail that, you know, Studio RGG put into them. So like
Yeah.
I'm glad, you know, they're still making games. I don't think that they've really weakened yet. I mean, like they're doing Stranger Than Heaven, right? Like that's the same
Yes.
team, isn't
Yes.
it?
Same team.
Yeah.
We'll
Tupac Games.
see.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens with that. I don't know what the hell that. I mean, you know, I get it that probably they've written themselves into a bit of a rut where it's like, hey, we've done so much for this universe, right, of the Yakuza series. Where the fuck do we go from here? Because it's, you know, they've done the mainline Yakuza game. There was a zombie spin-off. There's the one where there's samurai. Then there's, you know, focuses on different characters. There's like the Judgment Eyes game where you
Yes.
play as a detective. You know, then there's the Like a Dragon games, which is an RPG style, you know, series of its own within the Yakuza series with different characters and things like that. And now we just, I say recently, but I think the latest thing was the more of a DMC hack and slash with Majima in
Yeah.
as a pirate, and he's just a pirate. Like clearly,
I remember seeing
we're
that.
yeah, clearly they're running out of ideas, and I don't mean that as a bad thing. It's just that they've been doing this series for like 30 years.
Oh yeah.
So I don't blame them if they're like, yeah, let's try something else and let's get Tupac in here, you know, whatever. So let's see what happens. I'm gonna hope for the best, but definitely Yakuza, great beat 'em up, open world game, great story, silly characters, karaoke, awesome. Then we have Fallout New Vegas.
Oh yeah.
Also, this whole thing that I just said about chronological order is falling apart because definitely, I played a lot of Fallout New Vegas before Yakuza Zero ever existed. I can tell you that much. But
That's fine, brother.
I remember. Listen, I don't remember a lot of things. I'm a very loosey goosey person about remembering specific things. You know, there's people out there that are like, I remember on so and so date the smell and the taste of this thing that I ate on that day
Yeah.
and the exact time. Like they're very good at that. I can't say that for a lot of my memories.
Mm.
It's not that I've been bonked on the head too many times or anything. It's just whatever. But I can tell you, I remember watching TV and seeing the commercial for Fallout New Vegas and
Oh yeah.
being like, holy shit, this looks fucking awesome. And Dean Martin's Ain't That a Kick in the Head was playing, and they were just showing like a little montage of all the guns, and you're shooting the fat man into the desert, and it's sick. And I was like, whoa, yeah, I gotta get this game. Like, absolutely right now. But before that, I played Fallout 3, and I found out about Fallout 3 because I was just at a GameStop and I was looking through the used game section, and the cover really stood out to me. It was, you know, the Brotherhood of Steel
Yeah.
Paladin on the cover, and I was like, what is this? Like, what the hell is this game? And I flip it over to the back, and I was like, wow, whoa, this is so interesting. And I bought Fallout 3 like that. I didn't know what the game was. And then I started playing it and I went, this is amazing. This is incredible. And then, you know, then Fallout New Vegas came out and I saw the commercials and I said, yes, I absolutely have to play this game. And it's funny. I actually played Fallout New Vegas on PC exclusively. I never bought it for the PS3.
Interesting.
So I literally went to Best Buy because I think it was a Best Buy commercial. There was like a Best Buy pre-order bonus. And I was just like, wow, okay, you know what? I'm going to buy it at Best Buy. And I got the bonus. And then I put it into my piece of shit PC. And it was a disc. I had the disc for PC Fallout New Vegas. And
Physical media.
yeah. And I played it and it was super laggy. And so I had to save up money. And my dad was like, listen, you can buy a PC for whatever, but you're gonna have to pay for it. So I had to save up money and bought a PC. It was like some Asus, it was like an Asus desktop for $1,200. I still remember the exact price tag. And I
Wow.
went back to the same Best Buy, and then I bought the PC and I set it up. And I played Fallout New Vegas that way. And I kid you not, I think I played that game in from start to finish, side quests included, doing different runs 19 times, something like that. Like I
Oh.
just I love that game. That is like genuinely one of those games that I adore because there's just so much to do, and every time I picked it up, there was something new I didn't know that I didn't realize, and I was like, wow, this is incredible. And I loved it so much. That game like just changed me so much that
Mhm.
I again I went back into the series because I was like, well, I played Fallout 3. I've played Fallout New Vegas. What are those other games like? They must be just as great. Oh my god. I had to slog through Fallout 1 and 2,
Yeah.
which for people that are not familiar, it is a like what do you call it? Like top down. It's a top
A
down.
bird's eye view.
Isometric.
It's an
Isometric, yeah.
isometric. It's an isometric RPG, which is fine because if you see on the list, Baldur's Gate 3 is in there. I have nothing against that. But you need to remember this is an isometric RPG from like the 90s. So
Those
it's
games are old.
really
Real old.
really just slow. Combat is like the digital version of just passing a kidney stone. It's not pleasant at all. The
Yeah.
story is phenomenal. The story of Fallout 1 and 2 are both awesome. And Fallout 2 is directly connected to Fallout New Vegas. A lot of characters from Fallout New Vegas
Mm.
are from Fallout 2.
Yeah.
So there is kind of this reward of like going back and being like, oh, that's where they're from. Oh, that's what they're referring to. And you actually get to play it. So, story wise, phenomenal. But my God, the gameplay is just, it shows its age, right? It really does show its age. And I'm kind of glad that Bethesda picked it up. I'm glad, there were plans for a Fallout 3 from the original studio that made Fallout 1 and 2, but that studio went bankrupt. Fallout 1 and 2 were not financially successful games. They
Yeah.
were very niche. They were extremely niche, even at the time that they were released. Only now did they become kind of like these cult classics, but they were not. And so I think they're called Black Isle Studios. They were going to make Fallout 3. They call it Project Van Buren.
Mhm.
And it was going to be a modernized isometric Fallout 3. And to this day, people, there's still like demo footage and beta concepts of what that game was gonna look like. And I know that there's modders out there that have turned, you know, parts of that game into like a playable sort of campaign in like Fallout 4
Yeah.
or and stuff like that, which is cool, which is really cool. But yeah, I mean, Fallout New Vegas, absolutely like a life-changing game. Super, super awesome. Just super awesome. Total freedom of a game. And it really did feel like a game where, yeah, I can do whatever I want and I can truly role play as any character I want. And then I could even role play as a mentally handicapped person with low intelligence. If you
Yes.
put one intelligence, all your dialogue options turn into you like drooling when you
I've always
answer
loved that.
people, and
remember
people
that.
will react to that and they'll be like, "What's wrong with you?" So it's awesome. Like what what series does that? And Obsidian, which are the ones responsible for Fallout New Vegas, they tried. They tried to really remake the magic of
Yeah.
Fallout New Vegas with what's it called, Outer Worlds.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it did not work.
Luckily, they did hit that magic again with Avowed, a great game
Mhm.
from the last year.
Great game. Yeah,
Right.
they
Classic.
Which is
said
why,
Yes.
Avowed 2 is coming out soon. And
Right.
Totally.
News came out today.
Definitely.
right.
Oh,
And yeah.
Actually, Marco, did you see the news? I assume you did, but
for Avowed 2?
yeah, did you
Yeah.
see that stuff today? Or no?
Listen, I didn't even know there was an Outer Worlds 2.
That's
yeah,
fair.
there is.
No, the big
So
That
news.
came out
Yeah.
there.
All I was gonna say is the big news today, because Mark told me, and
Uh-huh.
we talked about it. Was it was announced today Avowed 2 has been canceled because they're gonna make a new Fallout game at Obsidian. Apparently, is what's happening. That was
Wait.
announced today. Literally today.
What?
Yeah, I figured you knew that. You're gonna like segue into it with New Vegas being
Right.
on the list. Yeah, that got announced today.
I didn't get that. This is the best. I thought you were gonna tell me some bullshit. Oh, they're
No.
making Avowed 2.
What do you
I
mean?
don't give a fuck. Do I give a fuck about Avowed or Outer Worlds 3? But you're telling me they're making a new Fallout Obsidian. That's
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
Yes.
That is good
Nah,
news.
it's
That
very
is
good
That's
news.
great. That's great. You know what? Let's all forget about the Sony thing right now. This is awesome. Wow.
still
No,
hope.
Jen, listen. I know you can't see my face, but I'm smiling under this mask.
I
Just
saw
know
you do that head tilt. I was like, oh, he's happy. He's legit really
That's
happy right now.
wow. That now that the high is worn off, we have to also think like, is it the original team of Obsidian?
Yeah, I don't know
You know
about
what
that.
I'm saying? You know what I'm saying?
That's a good
Because
question.
we'll have to see. I would hope so. I'm you know what? I'm gonna be a conspiracy theorist. I'm gonna say maybe Outer Worlds 2 didn't do so hot, and
No.
maybe
It didn't.
Avowed was not the Elder Scrolls killer that they thought it would be, and
We
they
know it
just went right, and maybe they're just like, you know what? Let's do this again. Maybe on a more modern engine. Nothing that Bethesda makes is modern with their engines, but it's a more, let's say, modern engine than the one they made Fallout New Vegas on. That'll be great. And obviously, props to Bethesda that the Fallout show is really successful and it's great. It's a great show.
It is very good.
And I know that it's tied. The next season is tied to New Vegas, which is great. So that's great. I'm very curious to see where they might take it. If you ask me, they could revisit the Fallout 2 setting, which is California proper.
Yeah.
They could do that. Do Shady Sands, Arroyo, do that? I don't know. Or they could take it completely somewhere else. Who knows?
Yeah.
Good for them. Obsidian, I like you. I really like
Yes.
Fallout New Vegas.
And it's definitely a time to give love to Xbox devs, since I think a good chunk of Obsidian and a lot of their other teams were laid off. So,
right. I don't wish
definitely
that for
send
you.
love to them.
Yeah, I don't wish that for you. For Volition, you deserved it for destroying Saints Row. Like that's actually like a very cause and effect of no, yeah, you're fired because you did terrible. Like that wasn't just corporate greed. You just if you burn the kitchen down, I don't want to work with you as my chef anymore. I'm sorry,
Yeah, it
So,
happens.
but Obsidian, listen, you wanted to do like a space thing with Outer Worlds. Okay. And then you did Avowed. Okay. I can look past that. But please make another like really good Fallout, because I'm not going to play Fallout 76.
No.
I can tell you that much. And Bethesda, I think after everyone clowned on Starfield, they just want us all to die. They're like, you're not getting shit anymore.
They're hard
You're
at
not
work
getting
on
new
Elder Scrolls
Fallout.
6. Yeah, it's
And
Surely.
when my
Yeah,
great, and then you know what? When eventually Sony, reverses their decision, I hope that my great grandkids can leave a disc of Elder Scrolls 6 when it comes out like 100 years from now, and put it on my headstone, and then be like, Grandpa, look, it's
It
Elder
came
Scrolls 6. We'll play it for you. We're gonna mod the shit out of it. And then my ghost is up there parting the clouds. I'll be like, yes. Remember to put the jiggle physics mods.
a heartfelt
kids.
moment for you, while my great grandchild with a Persona 6 copy attempts to resurrect me from the dead.
Yeah, exactly. So that's awesome. This has been the most enlightening thing you can ever tell me.
I'm so
This
glad
is
we got to
great.
do that live. That's awesome.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's awesome. Yeah.
it's good
No,
news.
Well, I was also
Great.
gonna bring up, because it wasn't mentioned, but with Lost Fallout New Vegas and 3, there's the supposed, I don't even know if you can call it a rumor, but there's an expectation that the remasters for those games are gonna come out. Because I've never played Fallout 3 in New Vegas, and it's not
Mhm.
because like the graphics bother me, it's because they run like shit on the PC, and if you alt tab out of it, it'll crash instantly. So I just was like, okay, I know supposedly there's going to be like a remaster for 3 and maybe New Vegas, and I really want to play it because I know those games are really good, but the current ones just they don't run well. And
No, that's fair.
Mm.
That's fair. I wouldn't be surprised if Bethesda did a sort of Oblivion style. Hey,
right,
you can just play it right now. It's available right
Yeah,
now.
I am.
And yeah, and you know what? I didn't hate the Oblivion remake. I thought it's pretty solid. It
I
adds a
liked
lot
it.
of quality
it's
of
really
life
good.
quality of life features. I don't think it was Bethesda directly that did it. It was like a
No, see
different studio.
that's the thing. They outsourced it,
Right.
Virtuoso or something. They
Yeah.
outsourced it, which I think is fine. I don't really
Which
care.
is fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't care.
I just
Like
I just want to play the game with updated graphics and it doesn't crash when I run it. And then
yes.
I'll be happy, and I would love to play those games if
Oh
Yes.
they
yeah,
get
for sure.
remastered.
They're wonderful. They're wonderful, and if it becomes more accessible and like more people are able to play and enjoy it, uh then great. Because I love those games, and I think a lot of people will love those games once they play it. And
Oh, yeah.
then if it's a more stable engine, because they would probably use like the Fallout 76 engine, um, as a base, then certainly the modding is going to go crazy
Oh yeah.
on there. So it'll crash less. I can tell you, like my hobby for a long time growing up was like being just on the Nexus for mods all day, and then trying to mod Fallout 3, Fallout New Vegas, and then like I've said before to you guys, when you mod games, eventually the hobby is not about playing those games. It's about fixing the problems that modding the game creates. So you're spending more time going, "What the fuck is breaking now? Why,
Yeah,
why is this
definitely.
crashing?" Than actually enjoying the mod you tried to download, which is fine. It's a love-hate relationship, but that's awesome. That's great. I mean, I'm sure they will, because you know what? They got to keep going with the momentum. You have the Fallout show, which is great. Um, I went to Halloween Horror Nights, and they had a Fallout haunted house at Universal, and it was actually super well done. But I was just not scared at all, because I just went like, "Oh my god, that's from the game! It's an NCR trooper from the game. They got the uniforms right." And stuff like that. And then there was a white woman jump scare, because the main character from the show, she jumps out at you from a corner. And
Oh, Ella
props to
Purnell.
the Universal like actress that they got to play her in that haunted house, because she had the big eyes like the actress from the show.
That's
So I was kind of like,
impressive.
wow, that is impressive. Like you really have to find someone that looks like that. So that's cool. Anyways, wow, I'm so excited for that. That is great news. Thank you for telling me that. That's
Yeah,
lovely.
sorry to interrupt your momentum, but I felt that had to be said.
No, that has to be said, because I really thought Obsidian was just gonna sort of become this. Yeah, we make Avowed now, and we make Outer Worlds. I was like, okay, sure. It's like when you go to a convention and you're going to the meet and greet panels, or like the little meet and greet booths to get an autograph, and it's like some legendary, athlete or whatever. And now they're just like, well, I'm at a convention doing signing now. It's like, man, you kicked ass 10 years ago. And now you make Avowed. And it's like, oh, anyways, I'll sign it. But yeah, so that's cool. Congrats to everybody for telling me that.
Everybody
We're
indeed.
Yeah, yeah. So the next game is maybe a curveball. Maybe I'm sure a lot of people know this game. I don't know how many people have played it.
I have, if it's the one I think you're about
Um,
to talk about.
No More Heroes.
Dude, yes.
No More Heroes. It is one of those games, completely took me by surprise of how much I love that game. And it's very interesting. I think in movies, we used to have this auteur system, right? It used to be you had your Stanley Kubricks, you had your Hitchcocks.
Yeah.
That was like, you can tell when Stanley Kubrick made a movie. This is a Stanley Kubrick film. This is a Hitchcock film. And then what happened was There was I think it was called, what was it, like Gate to Heaven or something like
Heaven's
that.
Gate.
Heaven's Gate. There was this movie that was so expensive because the guy who directed it was just like, no, this is my vision. This is what we
Oh no,
need.
Gate to Heaven. You were right. I misspoke.
Gate to Heaven,
Heaven's
right?
Gate is
Gate to
the
Heaven.
cult. That's my
Heaven's
bad.
Gate is a cult. I was kind of
Heaven's
like,
Gate's the cult. I realized that. Yeah, my bad.
But there was this movie called Gate to Heaven. It was like such a monumental disaster in terms of like a flop,
Mhm.
and it cost the studio just so much money that it basically echoed throughout Hollywood to be like, no, you can't just hand the keys to a single director for his vision, his or her vision. You gotta, the studio needs to have input, and that was a moment that the auteur system kind of faded away. And now you kind of have, it's more of a studio thing, right? Like,
Yeah.
do you really think, have you ever once thought about who the fuck the director is for a Marvel movie? No, it's a Marvel Studios movie. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? So that's kind of what the system is now. Why am I saying this? I'm not giving you a course in film history. It's because even more rare is in video games. You don't think about a single person being in charge of like the vision of a game. It's always a team of people. It's always a studio of people.
Yes.
I don't think Banjo Kazooie, and I think about like a single guy that made it. I go, okay, it's a rare game. Yeah, like it's Rare Studios, Rare Entertainment. But every so often, I think the planets align and produces someone who is like very eccentric. I think you have to be super eccentric. You can't be like a non-polarizing entity. And you get a Hideo Kojima,
Mhm.
okay? You get a Swery, which is from Deadly Premonition.
Yeah.
You get Guy from Bayonetta
Yeah.
guy, right? And you get Suda51, who is
Oh, yeah.
like super, super eccentric, super bizarre. I played No More Heroes and I just went, whoa, this is insanely cool, insanely different. It is a kind of a boss rush. It's almost like a weird, you know, it's like a weird Cuphead. It's a boss rush game.
It
There's
is,
not
yeah.
really, just it's every level is basically leading you up to the boss.
Yes, exactly. And they're all very themed
And
after their boss too, similar to like other things as well.
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. So, and the cool thing is that, but unlike something like Dark Souls, Dark Souls has many bosses. That's what it's known for, right?
Mhm.
But it feels like No More Heroes like really went above and beyond to make every boss like an absolute character and like very
Oh, yeah.
memorable in their own right, which was awesome. And Suda51 is a type of guy that when he makes games, he has something to say. He doesn't just make them to make a game. He makes them fun because No More Heroes 1 is definitely really fun. But he always puts something in there. There's always something that he has to say. And there's a lot. There's a lot to say in No More Heroes 1 about like otaku culture and like video game culture in a sense, and all these sort of subcultures, and what it means to be like you want to reach this number one thing for some reason or another.
Yeah.
Like why? Why is that? And the main character, Travis Touchdown, is he is likable in his own sense because he's pretty ridiculous, but he's an asshole. That's the point. I think that's like the whole thing, is that
Yeah.
he's like a shithead otaku loser. And
Yes.
he's not supposed to exactly be super redeemable, but that again, that's the point. So I really like it that, Suda51 made this game. This was his vision. And it made, again, when I really like a game, I go backwards to see what else they made. And then I played Killer 7,
Killer
which
7's
is,
amazing.
if you want just a fever dream of a game, you go and play Killer 7.
That shit is weird.
It is really, really weird. And after I beat that game, this was way before, ChatGPT or anything. There were just forums, right? It was like the GameFAQs forums, and I shit you not, I don't know if it's still up. There's like a 300-page essay that a guy wrote, a single guy. It's not a discussion. It's one guy wrote this. That's like, here's the meaning behind Killer 7, and it's 300 pages long.
Yeah.
So like, yeah. So it's like, just think about
Doctoral
that.
dissertation, bro.
Yeah, basically it's his PhD thesis, and I think I must have gotten like to page 50, and I'm like, all right, okay, I get it. All right, I think I understand. So crazy game, super awesome. I mean, his other stuff is also equally weird, but I don't know if it has the same impact that Killer 7 and No More Heroes had for me. Like, I played No More Heroes 2, also a super fun game. Kind of by the end, the message kind of loses its point where he goes, this the path of killing is supposed to be not worth it. So he made the final boss fight extremely annoying on purpose. And I don't know. That sucks.
Yeah.
Because it's like, I get your message, I get what you're trying to say, but just because you point out that the thing is annoying doesn't mean it's not annoying. It is still really
Yeah.
annoying. So, but that's fine. Then I played his other games. There was Killer's Dead.
Yes.
Very sleek,
I haven't played
very
that one, but yes.
stylish. Very stylish game, very fun combat. Kind of feels like it's abstract for the sake of being abstract. It did not feel as like, there's stuff going on here. It just feels kind of disjointed, but very cool. Visually, very, very stylish game. I bought Hotel Barcelona, which is a collaboration game between Suda 51 and Swery 57. I have not played it yet, but I will get to it because those two guys are two of my favorite sort of eccentric auteurs in the Japanese scene. There was also Let It Die, which was his like multiplayer game.
Yes.
Oh, I remember that one.
Yeah, it looked like fun. But obviously it's a big multiplayer game. Has some grindy elements, a little bit of microtransactions in there, but
They had
whatever.
a new game this year, Romeo's the Dead Man.
Romeo's Dead Man, right. I saw that too. Seems interesting.
Yes.
We'll probably visit that.
Yeah. Oh, didn't mean to interrupt.
You go ahead.
Sorry. I was just going to say my first exposure to them was Lollipop Chainsaw.
That's right. Yeah, Lollipop
That's
Chainsaw.
him too.
Yeah.
That's him.
That's crazy.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. That is them.
I
So
see.
yeah, that's also a great game. Also very, very fun. Super silly, super wacky.
Yeah, that game's insane.
Yeah, and I mean, not every game is going to be like a super smash hit, but I hope that doesn't discourage people from putting their vision out there.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's not going to be for everybody. And I like that it's just like, hey, this is what I'm putting out. It's not going to be for everyone. It's not going to be the most appetizing thing in the world, but you get really unique games, which I
No,
love.
I agree. I
So,
agree completely.
can't complain. Yeah. Where are we? Okay, so we're going with Civ 5. I gotta admit, I'm a bit of like a map game guy. Not super hardcore because I don't play like Hearts of Iron 4.
That's fair.
If I did play Hearts of Iron 4, I'd be on a watch list, but I'm not. I played Civ 5. I played it all throughout high school and then into college. A lot of people surprisingly played Civ 5, and I remember there were days where we spent like nights playing Civ 5 together in the college, like the dorm lounge, together playing stuff like that. So that was really fun. And I also think that game is special to me because of the context behind it,
Yeah.
of being in college and being able to connect with people that way, and having fun with them through that. I really did love that game. And it's just it feels cozy. It's one of those games that you can put music on in the background. You can just run a campaign, and just, play as a Civ,
Yeah.
whatever. And I was always a big fan of playing as Austria. I was a big Austria guy. Sweden is another really good Civ to play. But and then yeah, there were awesome mods for it. There was this great mod that was called I think it's called like Earth 2014,
Yeah.
where it is a like 1-to-1 world map with current geopolitical borders and leaders in it. All of
Ooh.
them.
The hell?
So if if you chose America, you were playing as Obama. Like that kind of thing. And then China had Xi Jinping, right? So like it was like that kind of thing. And it was like a gigantic map too. So you can bet my laptop sounded like a jet engine when I was playing that game, but it was super fun. So yeah, that's my map game one. I've played other sort of map management games. City Skylines is
Classic.
fun. I played Tropico. If anyone's played that, that's the one where you play as a dictator of a
Yeah.
sort of fictionalized sort of Caribbean country.
Yeah.
That's a fun one too. But I don't know. Nothing ever hit like Civ did, where you can kind of just go into this flow state. You just go nonverbal and you just play. And before you know it,
Exactly.
you've
Yeah.
played, 6 hours worth without getting up from your chair. And you're just like, wait, just one more turn. And I'm about to get the science victory, kind of thing. So that's, it's a shame. I hate that I really hate that I always have to say something really nice and then go, it's a shame that everything that came afterwards just didn't hit the mark, because
Yeah.
that's the big tragedy. Because Civ 6, listen, a lot of people gave Civ 6 like a lot of shit for basically becoming much more of a cartoony art style. There were, gameplay changes as there are with every game, but I still had fun with Civ 6. I really did. It was a good time. It takes some adjustment like with any game, but Civ 7 is where I could not cope with that. I could not pardon that or forgive what Civ 7 became. It is so dull and lifeless and just boring, and they took away everything that just made all the previous Civ games like fun.
Hmm.
And they did this really odd mechanic where you basically have half times, three half times, where your civilization just kind of stops, and then you just move on to the next era as a new civilization, bringing along certain traits and aspects from your
Mm.
previous civilization.
Interesting.
But you can't play as the same civilization from start to finish
That kind of
like in
sucks.
all the other games. Yeah, it's very odd. I know they're trying to do something different, but that
Yeah.
that didn't work. I can tell you that. Um
They
yeah.
did end up, because I played a bit of 7, and on one hand it's like when they were making that, they were trying to do something new, right? And it didn't quite hit the mark. They reversed, or not really reversed, but they added a lot of options in the
Mhm.
updates that sort of brought a lot of it back to what the older civs were like. So you
Mhm.
can now stay as one civ. The
Oh,
age
nice.
transition is adjusted, but yeah, that one. Well, I was gonna say, like, your comment on like Civ being really contextual where it was during your life, because really, aside from like Civ 6 or 7, it really depends like when you played it. Because for me that was Civ 4, that those
Uh-huh.
a bit before 5. I played a lot of 5, but for me Civ 4 was a special one, and
Yeah.
I
Mhm.
had so many memories playing that one a lot. But I think for a lot of people, whether it's Civ 3 or for you Civ 5, I think it had that sauce for a long time.
Right.
Just so addicting, one more turn. And
Mhm.
that, I think there's something about it that makes it really special compared to like the other Civ like games you mentioned.
Mhm.
And there were quite a lot that came out, especially in recent time. There's the one called Humankind, which
Right.
I thought it was interesting, and I think that's where 7 was like, "Oh, let's do that. Let's do what Humankind did." And it's like, no, stick
Yeah.
stick to stick to, it's like I get what they were trying to do, but for most people it didn't hit. I was fine with it, but it was definitely unpopular.
Right. Right. Yeah. So I don't know what's gonna happen with the Civ series. I don't know what they'll do for like a Civ 8. I don't know if they're just gonna do a different series in the meantime. I know that they have a space series. What is the space series called?
Oh, good question.
It's
I
like
have
space.
no idea.
Stellaris? No,
Stellaris. No, wait, is it
Okay.
Stellaris?
no, I think that's a different game.
That's a different game,
I'm
right?
pretty sure that's a
Yeah.
different game.
Right. But yeah, they have a space one, space Civ, whatever.
Space Civ.
That one's fun. That one's fun. But I don't know. We'll see what happens if there is a Civ 8, what they're gonna do, because clearly Civ 7 didn't hit for them. Like I would say for pretty much everything, just wait until this, Civ 7 Complete Edition comes out, and then also
Yeah.
wait for it to go on sale, and then play it. Right
Yeah.
after all the patches, all the bug fixes, all the improvements are done, and then all the DLC is on there. Then I think it'll be a much more enjoyable game. But when it came
Yeah.
out, it put a really bad taste in my mouth. So
It was not great, and the UI was terrible. Like
absolutely,
that
yeah,
it looked so like mobile,
yeah.
and things were like off centered and didn't look good. So they changed that, and
Okay,
they've changed a lot of this stuff in the recent updates to bring more features back to like how people normally like to play Civ. So yeah, I would
hmm
say I think now is fine, but yeah, I don't know. It didn't quite hit like most people wanted it to. I will say though, it is, in my opinion, the prettiest Civ game, which I do like.
mm.
I do
Ooh.
think it's very pretty.
Okay, okay, fair. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. I mean, I'm still if a Civ 8 comes out, I will be interested to see what they do.
Yeah.
If it's going to be a return to form or if it's going to go in a different direction, we'll see. So I'm never. I know. I don't know if I've given this impression that I'm some sort of cynic, but I'm not the type of guy to just be like, you know what, this one game is terrible. Therefore, I'm gonna hate everything that ever comes out from there again, with the exception being of Volition for just continuously annihilating Saints Row. But everything else, if you tell me like the Sid Meier's studio is gonna do a Civ 8, I'm gonna hope it's good, and I'll give it a shot. I can hope that it'll be good. So we'll see, because I haven't played a map game in forever. I have not touched one, and I don't plan on getting like, what is it, like Crusader Kings, or what is it, Victoria 3. I'm okay.
Yeah.
I won't do that. So, but last but certainly not least, and I think
Absolutely not.
this would be my most recent addition, obviously, into this pantheon of games, Baldur's Gate 3. If I played Fallout New Vegas like 19 times, then I must have played Baldur's Gate 3 at least like 10. Like, and there were so again, context dependent. There was I was in Japan. I was living in Japan. Um and I had lost my job was over, and I was going through a rough patch, and I wasn't really sure what to do, and I just played a whole lot of Baldur's Gate 3. So much so that sometimes a couple of runs where I would beat a run and get to the end credits and then just start a new game. Like I'm still sitting there, and I would go, all right, let me jump back in again. It is incredible. It's a beautiful story. It's D&D the video game. So,
Literally.
it's really incredible. And it's one of those things where you can play however you want. There is a set story, but there's so many branching paths to it, and it rewards you for being creative. And
Oh,
even on the most recent last playthrough that I did, I was still discovering new things, little secrets and little things going on, interactions that are really hidden off, completely optional interactions, but they're just these little secrets. So it's a game that keeps giving. Um, it's one of those games that just changed me. I love that game so much. Incredible, just everything about it. And I really do hope that Larian Studios, whatever project they do next, which I know will not be Baldur's Gate 4
It's
because of the
Divinity
thing
3.
with it's Divinity 3.
yes.
So
Yeah.
that next project, it's going to be awesome. Divinity 2 has a lot of the DNA of what Baldur's Gate 3 would be.
Yeah.
So if anybody plays that, you'll see a lot of things that feel familiar. But obviously it came first. So, it has some things from its time, gameplay wise,
Yeah.
control wise, that aren't exactly one to one, but you can see where the DNA of Baldur's Gate 3 comes from. But Divinity is so much fun as well. And it also has just a lot of, hey, you can play this however you want, tackle this situation however you think you want to solve it. And I'm glad that there are games out there. It really feels like it's the quintessential role playing game because you can choose your class and then you have a subclass and then you have kind of your origin story and your background and you can choose who your party is, or you can do classic D&D of just be a murder hobo. You can run this thing solo and just kill whoever you want and do whatever you want,
Yeah.
and the game will still go, and it'll have its consequences, but you can do that. It doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to be like, oh no, you can't do that, reset the game. It it lets you play however you want, and it got me through a rough patch when I felt very directionless and
Yeah.
very much kind of drifting around. I wouldn't say that it was just me distracting myself with a game, but or I guess initially it was. Initially I went in there to be like, okay, I just don't want to think about this. I just want to play a video game and not worry about this. But in the end, I realized like this is incredible. I feel like a new person coming out of this. And I think that's very rare to say for, I mean, it's a very high achievement for any piece of media to do that to you. I mean, there's plenty of media nowadays. Especially with the way that algorithms are designed and short attention
Oh yeah.
spans, that we've been programmed to be like that. That media is very forgettable. Media is very much just okay. You won't even remember it like 10 minutes from now. Like, what did I just scroll by? What did I just see? So when something sticks with you for the long term, especially nowadays, I think that's a huge achievement. Um, and I guess I would also extend that to everything else on this list. I think that's why they're on the list, because they stuck with me, and when you asked me to make a 3x3, I didn't really have to think too hard about it. I kind of had an idea of what my favorite games of all time were.
Yeah.
And so that's why I chose what I chose. And for me, favorite does not have to mean the greatest. It does not have to
Yeah.
mean it's the best of all time, because to say something is the best of all time, the greatest of all time, that's a very contentious topic. And
Oh
well,
yeah.
you see it in sports and movies and anything. Somebody's greatest of all time is different from the next person. But for me, favorite means if you told me I had to go back and pick it up and start from a new game right now for any of these games, I'll gladly do it.
Yeah.
And I'll gladly keep doing that. It's the same thing for me with movies. Some of my favorite movies of all time are not the most critically acclaimed movies of all time. Um,
Preach.
yeah,
Real.
like for me, Citizen Kane, is it one of the greatest movies of all time? Yes, absolutely. Like it is monumental to what it did for cinema
Yeah.
and things like that. The Godfather, one of the greatest movies of all time. Is it my favorite movie of all time? No. It insists upon itself. Okay? It insists upon itself.
Good pull. Good
So
pull.
but one of my favorite movies is Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade.
Banger, by the way. Yeah. That
Yeah,
kills
it's
Glenn.
Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. So
He's actually dying.
That
but
fucking line, bro.
it's
It's on itself.
That's
it's
funny.
yeah, like one of my favorite movies of all time is Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. Again, is it the most critically acclaimed? Does it have a very deep message? No, not really. It's just an adventure movie. It's like a fun adventure. It's a father son adventure movie.
Yeah.
But I can watch that movie, and I did. I used to watch that movie back on TV whenever it would come on. Usually be on like A&E or like Spike TV back when that was a
Wow,
thing.
what a pull.
FX.
Holy moly.
And it would be on there, and I would watch it, and I would just sit through the whole thing, and I would watch it, and I would watch it with my dad too. And it's one of my dad's favorite movies, and it's also special to me because obviously my dad and I share just watching that, and it was one of the first memories I had was my dad putting on Raiders of the Lost Ark, and I watched that with him, and ever since then we both have this love of Indiana Jones and whatnot. So that's what favorite means to me. Like, can I pick this thing up after years of not seeing it and revisit it very easily? Can I? Yes. If I say yes to it, then definitely it holds a place in my heart. If it's one of those things where I go, that was wonderful, that was spectacular, it was great, but do I see myself going through all this all over again? Then if I say no, then again, objectively, these things are wonderful, beautiful things and they're
Yeah.
great. But are they my favorite? So, like, for example, and I don't know if this is considered controversial, but like Red Dead Redemption 2 is one of the best games of all time. And I think I can say that almost like objectively. It's like just one of the
Mm.
best games of all time. Amazing story, you know, amazing world, amazing characters. The gameplay is fun, right? You're not sitting through a movie. You are playing the game, and the game is fun. It's a
Mhm.
Rockstar game. There's a certain
Yeah.
level of quality that you're gonna get. But is it my favorite game in the world? No.
Yeah.
Like I played through all of it and I did the side content and everything. And I kind of just feel happy like, okay, I've experienced it and I've kind of done all that I want to do in that game. I kind of don't want to just revisit it. I'm like happy where I left it, you know? But the games that are here on this 3x3, um, I can revisit time and time again. And I would gladly show them off to people, and like play with them and have them experience it for the first time. And hopefully they get the same amount of joy that I had when I played, these games. So I know that gatekeeping is kind of a thing. It's a topic of discussion in music and movies and in video games, in any kind of culture, subculture, or whatever thing, where there's always this fear and there's always this concern that if too many people know about a thing, then the thing is going to get watered down and it's just not going to be as good. But when I talk about these games and I share it with you guys and to whoever is listening, to the people listening in the chat, it's one of those things where I'm like, no, I do hope people discover this. And like if there was something on here that they didn't know about and me talking about it made it curious for you, then go play it and see it for yourself and see if you like it. And you might end up down a rabbit hole like I did for a lot of these games. And you might just end up a little different for the better. So I think with that sentence, that's it. That's my 3 by
Beautiful.
3.
Claps in the chat for Marco. We love it.
Thank you.
Outstanding indeed.
Thank you.
I'll say real quick as something to say about it. I very much agree with your sentiment of it's like personal. Similar to how you talk about Baldur's Gate, I feel about Persona 5.
Mhm.
Came at a good time in my life, and I'll always have a soft spot for it because of that. Only other comment I'll have before I throw it to you there, boys, is I obviously like a lot of these games, but I am glad you gave some Suda 51 love. They weren't on my 3x3, but I do love No More Heroes. It's a really good game. Killer 7's great. Lollipop Chainsaw, just insane games that just have so much soul to them and are so unique.
Right.
Definitely recommend them. And obviously Fallout's amazing, and so is Saints Row 2.
Thank you. Yeah, I appreciate it. Thank you for giving me the platform, the spotlight to show these games off and talk about them a little bit. But with that being said, let's get on with the news.
Well, not so fast, Marco. We last time we did this, I take a game from the 3x3 that I
Okay.
haven't played before, that I now have to play.
Oh, interesting.
Well,
Okay.
So that's why I played Baldur's Gate 3, because that
Right.
Yeah.
was on each person's 3x3, which was very surprising to
Oh,
see. It
wow.
was on
Okay.
Wes's, it was on Mark's, and now it was on yours. So, hey, Baldur's Gate 3 apparently a Coffee Studios favorite.
Yes.
So
we hate
it definitely
turn-based,
deserves
but
to be
Baldur's
there.
Gate strongly recommended.
It's a certified Coffee Studios hood classic right there.
But yeah, so No More Heroes. I've never played that, but you best believe in a
Okay.
couple months' time it will be beaten by me, and I'll
Excellent.
give my opinions on
I
that
think
as well.
I low-key think
So
you're gonna fuck with
Excellent.
it so much.
I think you're gonna like
really,
it. It
'Cause
is
I think
very
you will be-
bizarre, but it's really cool.
I think you'll initially be turned off by the anime art style, but the combat's really fun, and I think I knowing you personally, I know how much you enjoy good satire, and it's a fantastic satire. It's real good, especially considering I know you're,
phenomenal.
as Marco touched on this, very critical of anime and otaku culture. It is definitely poking fun pretty hard at a lot of that stuff.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
its commentary
Yeah.
has
Interesting.
aged like a fine wine. So really good game. That's a good
Yeah.
choice.
Yep.
I pulled up the Steam page, and it's on sale, of course, right now for
Awesome.
$10.
Awesome.
Shout out
And
Steam.
I shit you not, it was patched last month. It
Oh,
was
wow.
updated last month for better optimization on PC.
Well, there you
So
go.
it clearly has a fan base behind it that
Absolutely.
is making them like, hey, we should keep this optimized as things
Mhm.
progress. So
Yeah.
it was updated last month, so I'm going to pick that up, and we will see how that fares. So
I'll
good
have to
list,
maybe
Marco.
I'll have to
You got
maybe
some
Thank
hangers,
replay
you.
man.
it,
Awesome.
pick it up myself because
Yeah,
I
thank
played it on old consoles. So
Right. I played it
Yeah.
on PS3. It used to be. It came out as a Wii
that's where I played it. I played it on the Wii.
initially. And so yeah, Glenn, just so you know, it came out as a Wii game first, and obviously it used a lot of the motion controls. And one of the fun things about the game is you have a lightsaber, but it's called a beam katana because you can't say lightsaber because of copyright. But
Yes.
you have a lightsaber, and you swing it around, and that's your weapon, but it only has so much charge at any given time. So when you run out of charge, you don't pick up batteries or anything. You have to like shake the lightsaber back into full charge. And the way you do it is by doing a jerking off motion. And
Nice.
Very
Travis
intentionally.
will
Yeah.
start double fisting his sword to make it like start up again. So just be ready. Be ready for that. It's fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, while you're talking about it, because I knew this was gonna be the one I picked just based off the list. I had played most of them already, and
No.
that one looked like the most appealing. I had actually pulled up the Wikipedia, and when it was released on Xbox 360 a couple years after, it actually dropped uncensored and created the Z rating
Yeah.
on that copy.
Oh wow.
So I was very surprised, but of course the
That-
PS3 version did not follow suit with that.
right.
But yeah, in 2010 when it came out on 360, it had the adult Z rating. So kind of fun
Imagine
lore
that.
there.
That is very cool. Yeah, that is awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, well, enjoy it. Tell me, let me know when you play it because I want to watch you play it for sure.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'll say it now too,
Awesome.
as a gag, as I switch us back over to normal cam here. I will say, Nintendo, bring it back. Smash 6. Put Travis Touchdown in it. I know you made him like
don't make him just a Mii fighter.
He was a Mii fighter last
Put him
time.
as a fucking character. Yeah.
And Travis being such a meme-heavy character, it was so funny when they announced his Mii fighter. They just said Travis, and all the people were like, Travis Scott? So fitting.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, Mark, did you have some from Marco's 3x3s?
Oh yeah, gotta.
I made comments throughout it. The only other thing, other than looking forward to eventually playing, I hope they remaster it. I really do, because otherwise, we know that Bethesda doesn't like releasing games anyway. So
Yeah,
might as well have
classic.
something to play between now and Elder Scrolls 6. But the Yakuza series is also one I've always wanted to get into.
Same.
But it's like there's so many games, and like I'm not sure where to start. and then they remaster it. So I'm like, okay, do I go chronological or do I go in a certain order? Do I start with the newer ones? So what?
Well, I can tell
I think
you. No, you could. You go ahead. You go ahead.
I was just gonna say I've only played Zero, and I had tons of fun with that one. So I was just
Mhm.
gonna recommend Zero if you start
I
somewhere.
think that
But
is
I
the
think Marco, you
recommendation.
would
That's
know.
the only one I've played as well,
Yeah.
by the way. I've only also played 0.
Interesting. Okay.
So I did play the entire series as they were coming out. So I can just tell you this: as somebody getting into it, you're kind of at a great time because they're doing all the remakes right now. They just came out with
Right.
Kiwami 3, which just remade 3 in the new engine. So that's fun. So literally the best way to play this series is just start from 0 and then go Kiwami 1, Kiwami 2, Kiwami 3, play 4. There's no Kiwami 4 yet, but just play
Right.
4. Then there's 5, there's 6, which are modern enough as is, right?
Yeah. Fair enough. Yeah.
And then you just play Like a Dragon,
Like a dragon.
it's not a spin-off story. It's more so it is a continuation of like the rest of the series, but it's a new character story.
Yeah.
It's a
Yeah.
new character story, and it goes from there. So then there's what is it, Infinite Fortune or something like that? Infinite is which is Like a Dragon, the next in the Like a Dragon series, and it's great because you get this sort of beat 'em up style for the main series, and then with Like a Dragon, it becomes an RPG. It becomes
Mm.
it becomes turn based.
Yeah.
Right. Yep.
So it shakes it up. It shakes it up, but it shakes it up in a really fun way. Where for I think a lot of people were a little bit maybe nervous about, oh my god, like you had this formula going for all these years and all these games, like now you're gonna change it to an RPG. Like how is that even gonna work? I can tell you this, it works. It really works. So like you don't have to worry about that. And again, it's better to just play it chronologically. It's better to play because there is the whole narrative going on through all these games. So it's better to just play it starting from 0 all the way into Like a Dragon. So
Is so Zero I see director's cut.
yeah, just play the
That's
director's cut. Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Okay.
There you go.
There it is.
Outstanding.
Yep.
Absolutely. Much love to all those games and all the studios and stuff, especially Xbox Studios, who are going through a lot right now.
Yep.
But
Yes.
speaking of studios who are about to go through a lot right now, aka the Wrath of Glenn, I will use this as a
Dude,
pivot point to let him cook, because he's cooked in the past
that
about
is a good pivot
Assassin's
point.
Creed. So I'm gonna give you a
Hey,
platform
so
once again.
I'll take my my soapbox and I'll stand it pretty tall. Assassin's Creed is one of the most formative games I played as a young lad.
Mhm.
Assassin's Creed 1, I remember watching my dad play that and being like, this is the greatest shit in the world. It's like the fundamentals of it is, hey, what if we had ninjas somewhere else?
Yeah.
Okay, that's been the groundwork of it. Is what if we had ninjas somewhere else? That's amazing. Okay. And then they make Assassin's Creed Shadows and throw that entire mindset into the garbage. All into the garbage. Like, hey, it's no longer about what if we had ninjas somewhere else. It's now let's make a game about ninjas. Anyway, Assassin's Creed Black Flag is hands down one of the best creations of the Assassin's Creed franchise. They literally perfected sailboat combat.
Yeah.
Literally perfected it. There's not a single negative thing about that. And so, Assassin's Creed Black Flag Resynced just dropped. I've been watching the trailers, I've been keeping up with it. I was very optimistic. I think these guys know how I reacted when the trailer dropped.
Yes.
Right? I had my head in my hands and I was like, "Oh my god, it actually looks so good." Like unfortunately might cause me to give Ubisoft money. It looked
Yeah.
that good.
It did look really good.
And then of course I started watching some of the review videos that are coming out. Because the biggest one I want to shout out is That Boy Aqua. He makes a very good video essays, and he's been flown out by Ubisoft multiple times for like every new game. But he has this mentality of like, hey, free doesn't mean shit to me. Like, I'm here to critique your game, and I'm going to give my honest review about the game. And his review was by far the most compelling. It is a beautiful graphical overhaul. All right, so I want to make it very clear. They did very well with the graphical overhaul. That's the best part about it for sure. It just straight up looks better. And that's good. That's good news. But the combat, the whole engine is from the Assassin's Creed Shadows engine. They brought that to make Resynced, right? For some reason, that means less weapon freedom. You have to use the swords in combat. Have to. So in the original Assassin's Creed Black Flag, if you want to go like pacifist, no kills, you can do that. You can use your fists. As an assassin, you have the ability to exclusively use your bare hands. They took that away. For some
That's
reason,
huge. Yeah,
they just took that away. I can look past that, right? They want the assassins to kill. Okay, you want them to kill. They removed the ability to use your hidden blade in combat. My
Really?
biggest gripe with Assassin's Creed Shadows, by the way, is that you can't use your hidden blade in combat. The staple weapon of the assassin is not usable in combat. They removed that ability. Black Flag does not allow you to use the hidden blades in combat. And to make it worse, right? In the original Assassin's Creed Black Flag, if you are unarmed, you can disarm the enemy and use their weapon. That allowed you to kill with muskets. That allowed you to kill with great axes. That allowed you to kill with like spears. They took that out of the game. They took disarming and using an enemy's weapon against them out of the game. Listen, we talk a lot about remasters on this show.
Yeah.
One thing you shouldn't do with a remaster is remove features.
Agreed.
You got to start with keeping the features that are there and then adding on to them. Right? I was flabbergasted to find out you are required to use dual swords. Required.
Mhm.
That's your weapon. Unironically, you don't have a choice anymore on what kind of assassin you want to be. You
Yeah, that
are
sucks really
required to
bad.
use dual swords as Edward fucking Kenway, one of the greatest Assassin's Creed characters of the series. I fell back in my chair and put my hand over my mouth and was just like, wow, they like did that. They had the hey, let's print money button. They did that. I hope more people understand what they did and the freedom they took away from one of the greatest Assassin's Creeds ever. Because, hey, stop giving
Yeah.
Ubisoft money. There's no reason they should have done that. You're telling me, okay, I've never played Assassin's Creed Shadows, so hey, mark that. But you're telling me there isn't weapon variety in that? Bullshit. They must. They could. It doesn't like Yasuke have like a big, like heavy weapon. They couldn't have just ported all of those animations into Edward Kenway when he picks up a great axe, like
Yeah.
a great axe. It was sad. So graphical overhaul, amazing. For the boat combat, I think they ported over the ship combat from Assassin's Creed Rogue, which unironically was my favorite. Assassin's Creed Rogue ship combat was a little bit better with a more free-flowing Gatling gun rather
Yeah.
than the hold Y and shoot. It was much better. And then the tailing missions are gone, so that's fine. Right, tailing missions You can either do them or kill the target and get a letter with the same information you would have got if you completed the tailing. I think that's fine. Because being the assassin you want to be is good. If you don't want to tail a motherfucker, just kill him. You should be able to. But if you don't want to tail a motherfucker and want to choke him out so he can like see his family and shit, let me do that too.
Yeah.
Like removing unarmed attacking is just like why? Why? Um and then of course they made a statement saying, "Hey, different weapon varieties to come." You're charging $60 for this already? You're ready to hear some critiques about it. I don't care what's getting ready to be moved over. You're fucking Ubisoft,
Yeah.
and you didn't even have to make a new story for this. You can finish up the animation porting from AC Shadows, which is on sale for $20, by the way. Brand new fucking game. Anyway, so that's my rant. I think Assassin's Creed as a series needs to fizzle out, right? It goes
Yeah.
Call of Duty needs to fizzle out, and then Assassin's Creed. And I think the people got their fair share. Let's stop giving people like that free money. So yeah, don't buy AC Shadows if you want Assassin's Creed Black Flag Resynced. Just think about it because you're about to get less for more money.
Yeah.
So what I'm hearing is you're not getting the new.
No, I'm not getting Black Flag Resynced. Thank you. I thought I was. I really thought I was. But
I did
no,
too. I was excited, to be honest. I'm seeing that same sentiment in the chat.
Looked at the review. Yeah, I did see the chat. Josh, I believe. Yeah, no, it was really exciting stuff because they were bringing like parries into it, which was good. You know, I like that counter to insta chain kill. People are kind of over that, which I get. So I was excited for the parry system, but like forcing me into like dual swords, like as Edward Kenway, that's not the Edward Kenway I played. I'll tell you that much.
I wonder if they'll patch it
Um,
or add it eventually.
That's what they said. That's literally what they said. They said unarmed attacking to come, which like
Which is
that's
it's
half the
crazy. Like
problem.
why would that
Yeah.
not just be in the game? Like why
It is
would you
weird.
do that?
Exactly. The HUD is kind of ugly. I don't know if people have seen it, but it's like that, like four like squares in the corner
Yeah.
to show like your abilities on the D-pad. I don't need to be reminded every single second that my whistle is left on the D-pad. I was completely fine with that being hidden in the original Black Flag.
Yeah.
I don't need it there, as well as like your health potion being up on the D-pad. I don't need that constantly on my screen. I'm more than capable of understanding what buttons do what. I don't think it was there in Black Flag, but it's there now. Like the kick,
Yeah.
they added like a kick button, which isn't too bad. I think kicks are fine. Just like teach me how to do it and then let me do it. Don't fully put it in the corner of my screen the whole time to remind me like, hey, this button is what kicks. Like,
Yeah.
I get it. Yeah. So that's my gripe. I thought I was gonna get it until I saw that, and then I remembered I played Black Flag on my shitty rig of a PC anyway. So if I ever feel like playing it, I'll just boot that back up again and play it.
Yeah.
But no, I was very disappointed. And another anecdote is our good friend that I work with. I still don't know if she wants me like name dropping her, so I won't. But she started Black Flag like the same week I met her,
Yeah.
and I was just like, ever since that, I was like thinking about how good of a game that was and how amazing it would be to play for like the first time ever. And I probably want to play Resynced. I think before stream started, Willis mentioned seeing some sentiment of Resynced is probably a $30 value game, and I would agree
Mhm.
with that.
Yeah.
I would pay $30 for that. Yeah, hands down. But right now, of course, it's full price. It's Ubisoft. They need to make back the money from AC Shadows by making the same game but worse. So
Yeah.
yeah,
No, I mean,
I would unironically support AC Shadows more than this.
No, I mean, a really great point you brought up that I definitely want to jump on, which I think is important because we have seen this before with other franchises, is a remake should not remove features. I'm pretty openly on this podcast a big shill for Atlas. Love Persona, like Catherine. I like a lot of stuff they do. Very notoriously, when Persona 3 Remake came out, it's a very common thing with the Persona franchise where they will release a game and then they will remake it with like extra content, right? As they did with Persona 3 and then Persona 3 Portable, Persona 4 Golden, right? And then 5 and Royal. When they remade 3 and called it Reloaded, they famously did not include any of the DLC content that was initially in Portable.
Ooh.
And they also cut the female main character story path. They got rid of all of that only to sell it as DLC later on, an extra $20.
Crazy.
And the DLC did not include the female option. It was just the male story path for the game. That was hugely criticized. People were really mad about that.
That is crazy, Willis, because that just reminded me the Black Flag DLC, Freedom Cry of the right-hand man Adewale and his freedom from slavery is not in Resynced, I think.
They're going to sell it.
I think they
do what
Atlas did.
They'll sell it again.
Wow. Freedom Cry DLC, I got to fact check this before I just like put it into the open, but
no, yeah.
I don't think the Freedom Cry DLC was included.
But then they can sell a remastered DLC as an add-on.
Yeah,
exactly. Now you're thinking.
And
now you're thinking like.
I also say I only bring this up because they got a lot of backlash for that, and that worked. Persona 4 Revival comes out next year, and they were very clear. It will include all expanded content from Golden. It will have everything in the base game. So it worked. People believed that, you know what I'm saying? And that they took that to heart. They listened. And, so, if you feel that way about Assassin's Creed, be vocal. They'll patch the game. They'll try and fix it. Hopefully.
Another positive I do want to give Resync just a little bit is they did cut out the out of Animus sections.
Ooh,
right?
That's nice.
In Black Flag, you go through the office building getting these like access to different security levels in the office building. They cut that out. They were like, we clearly missed the mark on these out of Animus sections. Let's just let people be assassins. So that's out of Resynced. I'll give that a positive, but I can understand if somebody liked those sections, that would be a negative. Just more of the, hey, let's remove content from remasters type of argument. But
other games have done, and not even just Persona. I've been playing it in my free time a little bit again. I fell off it for a while, but Final Fantasy Tactics Remake doesn't have any of its content from War of the Lions. But apparently that's a controversial thing anyway. Like the devs were like, yeah, we didn't work on that DLC, so we don't want to include it. So something's up with that. But yeah, I also agree. If you're remastering a game, you should have all the content that eventually came out for it. It sucks to make you buy a DLC. And the weird thing about the Persona 3 DLC is it's called The Answer. It was originally included in Persona 3 FES, which was a PlayStation 2 version of the game, and then was eventually added upon even more in Persona 3 Portable. They expanded the DLC even further past what they did. It's not a very popular DLC. I don't want to spoil Persona 3 on this podcast, but unlike the other Persona games, which I don't want to say have open-ended endings, the story very much wraps up in each of those games. That shit definitely wraps up at the end of 3. There is no, like, oh, what's going to happen next? It's real definitive at the end of 3 is all I will say. So the DLC, which was originally part of FES, called The Answer, a lot of people criticized it because they were like, we don't need the answer, And for them to then not only cut it out, but just charge $20, whatever it is for. Actually, I think it was $30 on top of it being a $70 game at the time. It was very criticized. So I'm glad to see, with 4 they're doing that, and I hope more companies in the future, pay attention to stuff like that.
Yeah.
And also, you were given permission to name drop. By the way, it was in the chat. So if that ever comes up again.
Yes. If she ever comes up again, I will. I just didn't know and didn't want to make the wrong.
No, that's
choice.
A good thing.
But another negative to Resync is outfit microtransactions are there.
Oof.
And I shit you not, it's like mythical. Like his outfit can be like a blue crow flame. It's just like shit like that. Like, how can I share this on the stream effectively?
If you send me a link, in the Discord, I can pull it up.
Okay. I'm trying to see because like on Google Images, because like a real shitty. What if I? It's gonna be real bad. I'm just gonna try and post it on the Discord. But essentially, it's like he's covered in fire. It's like a Dark Souls character. It's just like bullshit like that. That's like, hey, can we just like chill? Like, why does Edward Kenway need to be like covered in fire in this sick new outfit that's $30?
Oh my god.
And he like has like devil horns.
Oh, I see
Like,
this. I'm pulling it up right now. 1 second.
oh, okay.
I found
Sorry.
it.
Yeah, my thing is like
No,
going
you're good.
slow.
You're good. You gave me enough information where you said resynced flame outfit. I can pull it up. Yeah, this looks really weird. What the hell?
It's obviously like I was gonna say Fortnite, but I don't know. Like,
No, it looks like a
that
Fortnite
feels like
skin.
such a. It feels like that sounds like such a Fortnite thing. Like get the rare Edward Kenway.
Dude,
like
I'm telling you, it
limited
looks like a
edition.
Fortnite skin.
I
Alright,
put
here,
it in
give me one
general
moment.
gaming. I don't know if you're able to just like
Yeah,
pull
here,
that up.
No, I got the. I'm just showing Google Images here, but you can kind of see it
Okay.
from this Instagram post. I'll also see if I can pull the general gaming one up as well. Yeah, it's the
Oh
same.
damn, that's some. Yeah, it's just a rare battle pass skin.
Yeah.
It's not good.
Yeah, it's very unfortunate.
Like,
it doesn't look very good.
I mean, all just to get more money out of us, guys. Like, do you really need your Edward Kenway to look like that? No, you don't. And that's not even like unlockable through fun little side content. Like, that's not something you get for destroying all of the legendary ships, which is like actually an amazing feat to do, by the way. Now you just pay for it. Yeah, just give a little money to the Ubisoft that you love so much. But yeah, that's I guess that's the end of the rant.
Yeah, that was a good one.
We'll see how that does. But
single player games should not have cosmetics like that, in my opinion.
Right.
It makes
That's a good opinion.
sense. It makes sense if it's like a gacha game or a free to play game and they sell cosmetics because games have to make money. But if you're playing a single player game and then you're adding all this bullshit, it's like, what? This is just
yeah.
Like, why didn't you just add this as like an achievement? Or if you want the
exactly.
Super Flame or Fortnite like skin, that's one thing, but just add it as like a cool little achievement. Why do you have to? I mean, I know why. They make money off of it.
Yeah, exactly.
People will
Right.
buy it because they want to look cool, but I feel like, especially in single player games, it's so egregious.
Yes.
No, definitely.
And to get like the hellish horse thing in Assassin's Creed Odyssey, you get that when you take out all of the bounty hunters.
See, that's fine.
Like,
Which is
give it as like
fine,
an
yeah.
objective. Get it something to like work for. Like, there's nothing wrong with that outfit, but just buying it. Come on now.
Yeah.
Just come on now. All right. Whew.
Hey, get it off your chest. Feel it.
Big thing. Yeah,
Feel
no,
it.
I was holding that in. I was really excited for that game, and now it's gonna be lost to a guy like me. So, yeah.
Very unfortunate indeed. But I can do a quick pivot too. Speaking of new releases that I was excited for and actually turned out to be pretty good so far, do a brief segment talking about Doom's DLC, which came out literally yesterday. Actually, I think technically today. It came out at midnight, I think last night, something like that, with like a little early access on Steam. They like launched it a little earlier. Doom Dark Ages Revelations. I am only like 2 stages in, so this is very early impressions. But so far, very positive, honestly. I love it when, similar to what made me think to pivot to this, was we talked about, Black Flag hopefully adding the unarmed combat, as they said. I talked about Persona eventually changing their minds. This DLC, I think not only has great level design so far and really good music, it sounds like they've really listened to the critiques of the base game, which was in the original Dark Ages, the biggest complaint was it was very grounded. Doom Eternal allowed you to do a lot of aerial combat, as did Doom 2016, with its dash system and things like that. And it was very interesting to see people say, oh, I really loved the parry in Dark Ages, but you feel more like a tank. They wanted it to feel more like Doom 1, where you're kind of running around. And I think that's really awesome. But as people said, it sucks to take things away, as we had talked about as well, right? You had all these movement options, and you're taking stuff away for the sake of canon, right? Because this game took place before the other one. He shouldn't have those abilities yet. You know what I mean?
Right.
Mhm.
I loved Dark Ages. I was very openly loved it. I still like it. This DLC definitely addresses those complaints. They give you his dash back, which is great. They just, they just go, oh yeah, this point in the plot is when he got that. So there you go. And the biggest complaint people had, my biggest complaint, was people missed the meat hook from Doom Eternal, which was the chain you used to fly around with essentially aerially, which was not in Dark Ages because you're meant to be on the ground. Dark Ages is still very much, even in Revelations as the DLC, a grounded game. You were definitely meant to just be like a tank kind of running around. But they essentially have turned this new spear that you get in place, at least so far, in place of the shield. Mild spoilers, but you get the spear early on, and it replaces the shield. It essentially can be the meat hook. You stab it into somebody, and you use it to fling around and everything like that. And along with that, it becomes your new parry tool as well. And the parry timing is a lot tighter on the spear than it was on the shield, which is going to lead to my bigger comment overall, which I really like, is similarly to how I felt about Doom 2016, where that game is very hard, especially as a first-person shooter, and then Eternal essentially assumes you've played 2016 and is, like, insanely difficult, even on its easier modes, and then its DLC is, like, nearly impossible. Like, to this day, I still find that DLC, like, it's too hard. It's like if a whole DLC was that final Elden Ring DLC boss, it's like, it's so punishing, it's crazy. But that's been a tradition with Doom, to be fair, and in the defense of the devs. It's been a thing of, like, the games assume you played the last one, so they get harder and harder as they go. Revelations' DLC is pretty challenging. Because they have essentially added aerial combat now by you using the meat hook to fling yourself in the air. So instead of having Doom Eternal's jetpack movement, you are still very heavy, but you essentially use the chain to fling yourself. Like you grapple onto something and use your weight to spin around them and pick up speed. And the game now expects you to do that. The combat encounters are designed around you knowing when, I am overwhelmed, I should fling myself to another area of the map or I will just die. So it definitely assumes that. They definitely saw that people liked the bullet hell combat from base Dark Ages because there is a lot more of it. There is tons of projectiles. And what's really cool that they've added now is along with the parry, which you now use the spear to parry and reflect green attacks as you did in the base game, you now have a perfect dodge that empowers the spear to do more damage. So if you're using a parry and then another projectile is coming at you, can't parry in time, you can then perfect dodge that to build up extra damage, essentially, to then get like crits or use the spear in different ways. And I think that's really awesome. I think it's great they added that in. It adds just another level of stuff you are doing. I'm, again, not very far in, so I can only really talk about the combat. I can't talk about the story. Although I can say I think it's really cool that they're going to try and connect this to Doom 2016, it seems. Because I've seen the achievement list, maybe mild spoilers, but one of the achievements towards what seems the end of the DLC by percentage completion is to get the Predator suit from Doom 2016. And then on top of that, there are multiple references to what seems to be Doom 1993, where it says acquire the 1993 shotgun, acquire this something else. So it appears that they're really going to connect this to the old games and the new, maybe with secret levels and stuff. I know during the Xbox showcase they showed off what looked like secret retro levels, which I think is awesome.
I do remember that.
But I think really the most interesting thing I've seen is Doom 2016, Doom Eternal were both really great games that had like DLC additions and things that people did not like. Like the DLCs were usually never well received. Eternal for controversies around them firing McGordon, which was very disappointing, and there's a lot to unpack with that. I won't do that right now. And also its difficulty. Those DLCs are insanely hard. And then 2016 with having no story DLC, simply only having multiplayer DLC when no one cared about the multiplayer. The multiplayer was good, but that's not why you play Doom. But then, seeing it have like, for a while, it had overwhelmingly positive reviews on Steam. And if you go through a lot of the negative reviews, they're like, hey, this DLC is amazing. It just seems to be poorly optimized, which from subtle tweets from the id devs seems to be that a good chunk of who was fired in the Xbox layoffs was their optimization team. So the DLC has some optimization issues sometimes. But a lot of the devs have been very forthcoming on Twitter, which has been cool to see, and on Reddit, posting solutions for people like, oh, if this is an issue, launch it through Steam with this command. It'll fix it. I had an issue like that last night. I found a Reddit post from one of the devs that said, add this to your launch options, fixed all my issues instantaneously. So it's cool to see they're doing their best to fix those things with now less of a staff, because I believe 50% of id was laid off with those layoffs, which is deeply unfortunate. Especially considering it seems this DLC is pretty fucking amazing and everybody really likes it and thinks it only improves the game tenfold. And the music very much includes more nods to Mick Gordon's style. It's cool to see Finishing Move actually listened to a lot of the critiques, which was, as you know, you had a more medieval sounding soundtrack in Dark Ages, right? It was still heavy metal, but definitely tried to have more strings and operatic stuff because it's more medieval, right? But as you are now marching towards modern Doom, you're approaching, theoretically this DLC ends at 2016, right? Which I don't know if that's the case, but considering what they've said, it seems it's going that way. You start to notice little glitchcore stuff coming back into the soundtrack, and I've noticed more and more of it as I get further and further into the DLC. That's a really nice touch. It's really good. I'll say what I said when I reviewed Doom Dark Ages on the channel, as much as I have critiques of it. Seeing them completely cut out multiplayer and all these other features that were definitely forced upon them in past titles, and just have this really narrow vision of just Doom, right? You may not like this, but this is our interpretation of Doom for this game. It's even more hyper-focused this time. And it's super cool to see them really cooking, considering that was a thing they'd struggled with in the past, was keeping the game's good post-base game. So, nothing but love for them so far. I'm excited to give a full review when I finish it. It seems the DLC is pretty challenging, but I look forward to the challenge. I beat Eternal's DLC, even though it took me like 2 months. I hope that Revelation it seems to be challenging, but not as punishing as it was in Eternal. So nothing but love for the id team. If somehow this reaches any of them, love you guys. We have them to thank for Valve. The only reason Valve exists is because id gave them the Quake engine for Half-Life. They had no money for a game engine, and the guys at id gave it to them for free. So we owe them a lot. Incredible. And to see them get so obliterated by current economic conditions is very sad. But love to them. Very good DLC so far.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not to bring the mood down. Sorry.
No, it's all good. I think a final segue. Current economic conditions. Steam sale. Willis and Mark had bought my most played game on Steam ever, The Binding of Isaac, for $2. The entire world followed suit and got that game to the highest grossing, what was it, Steam player count?
Yeah. The highest player count it's been at.
Wow. I would love to hear the boys' thoughts on a game that has been with me since before I was in middle school on Newgrounds.
Mm-hmm.
I would love to hear the journey.
I'll pass it to Mark first because I just yapped about Doom for a while, so I'll give him a chance to talk a little more up front, and then I can bring in my thoughts after that. And I don't know if Marco's played Binding of Isaac, but I'll obviously give you the opportunity to.
I know of it. I definitely have been aware of it for a long time. To be honest, it always struck me as that very grotesque Newgrounds style kind of game.
Definitely.
And for me, I was just kind of like, ugh, like what the fuck is this? And
That's
then
definitely
I
my
saw
impressions,
gameplay
too.
of it. Yeah, and I mean, it's certainly the point, right? It's from that sort of era, and that's fine. But I was just kind of like, oh, okay, so it's like a bullet hell type thing, roguelike. This is cool. I've seen gameplay of it. I've seen people play it all the time. I've never played it myself, I will say.
Well, that's the thing, I never got into it because the art style just wasn't it for me. So I just figured, okay, it's really popular, but doesn't seem like something I would play. But with the Steam sale and having the game and all the DLCs for $5, I'm like, whatever,
What a
let's give
deal.
it a shot. I
What
know,
a
yeah.
deal.
Yeah, wow.
And
Yeah.
first thing is it's hard, like really hard.
Yeah, it looks
Like,
hard. Yeah.
I thought it would be like, oh, it eases you in, you learn a bit, and no, you just die immediately, and you every run is you have to start from scratch, so really hard. I think within the first day or two, I beat the first milestone, which is Mom's Foot, and I was like, great, I beat the game. Credits are rolling. Glenn sent a video earlier about sort of like the history of the game and the DLC, so I'm like, okay, I can watch this video now, and I had no idea what they were talking about. This game goes so much deeper, and I'm like, holy fuck. Like
Oh yeah.
I did not know. And I think a couple days ago I then beat the next sort of milestone after you beat the foot. Uh and I think so I'm not like the save screen reflects that change, so I'm there now.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's good. I like it. It's very chill. Well, no, it's not chill, but
I know what you mean.
yeah, you know what I mean. It's a pretty easy game to just go in and play,
Yes.
but it's very
Yeah.
hard. But yeah, a lot of customization. It's like, and it's just so like I'm no stranger to like roguelikes and stuff, but it's so random. Like I know later on there's a way where you can manipulate your builds a bit more. I'm not even close to there yet, and I'm just you
Yeah.
just at this stage you're just picking up all the items you can, and you're just getting like weird builds and stuff, but it's fun. You can really get screwed over by them too. So I'll probably keep playing it a bit more. I picked up a lot of games on the Steam sale. It's not a game I'll 100% because that game has like over 600 achievements,
It's crazy.
It definitely
and
does.
I am not good. Sorry, one more thing that actually reminded me. I was gonna say like I wasn't gonna play like the hard stuff right all or anything, but actually I remember Glenn when we were talking about it, you mentioned you only play hard mode, and then I gave it a
I do.
shot, and I'm like, it's not really that different, and in fact, if anything,
Exactly.
it's easier because I think you get drops in each room, right?
Y-
Or is that a hard mode
Yeah.
thing? So actually, I found hard mode to be easier than
It's
the
definitely more
normal
fun.
mode.
I was
So
gonna say that in my comment. I agree. More enemies is like more stuff
Yeah.
to kill, right? It's Diablo mindset.
yeah, so that was interesting. Like in terms of difficulty, it was either no change, and if anything, made it easier because then you would get drops and that you get that half hard container or hard container that you needed, or like it's not. What gets me is like it's it's just the stupid stuff in those games, right? It's like
Yeah.
Yeah.
you know the bullet's coming, but you didn't realize you were in front of a rock and you can't move, or they like
Yes.
smash into you, and it's like I
Yeah.
or just like the mob placement is just awkward and you just get butt blasted from both ends, and
Pretty
there's nothing you
much.
could have done about that. So very
Yeah.
unforgiving, very frustrating game, but you can tell why it's definitely a classic, and I haven't even scratched the surface of it with the past week I've been playing here and there.
Yeah, I mean,
Nice.
I can jump in there and talk about it. Mark brings up a great point, which is that it's very easy to jump in and out of, which is why I've been playing a good bit of it recently. I was trying to think about another game I've had this experience with, and I think one of the best examples would maybe be Elden Ring, but I'm not entirely sure.
Mm.
But when I was playing Binding of Isaac, I'll give a specific story to kind of jump off of a greater point for it. I was just playing a run, and I happened to complete the run. I had apparently done something during that run to earn an achievement. Don't know how I did it. It just happened. And I got an alert that said, "Congratulations, the 4 horsemen have been unlocked." And I said to myself, "The what?" I did what?
Yes.
I have had that same emotional
Um,
experience probably 8 times since then with the game. Where it's like, you unlocked this, or you did this secret route that I didn't even know I was doing. I already did the boss rush thing that I guess unlocks the necropolis when you complete it. There was a lot of bosses in that boss rush that I had never even seen anything. Is it? I have to ask you a question, actually, Glenn. Is the bosses in the boss rush randomized, like the order they come in?
Yes.
Okay, because
Yes.
I walked into that
Yeah.
little hole in the wall when you unlock the boss rush for completing under a certain amount of time, and I was like, I wonder what's in here,
Yes.
and I found God. This is pretty much, and I was like,
Did you?
I have made a mistake coming into this room. And I figured, oh, I just have to beat this really hard boss. Beat it. Spawns 2 more. I go, okay, multi-phase kind of thing. I know what we're doing. 20 minutes pass, and I go, I am still going. How many bosses are in this gauntlet? Probably 10 more minutes pass, and I'm still going.
Oh my god.
My hand is starting to hurt. And I'm like, I don't think I was supposed to be here. I got here by accident. I had a really good build and got here by accident. By the skin of my teeth, I completed that. It must have taken me 30 minutes. It was challenging. I think if I didn't have such a high damage build with the tier that you just manually control, like the little orb, and you just hover the orb over top of the enemy and it just constantly damages them and you just track it. If I didn't have that with like poison damage and all this other stuff, I would have been cooked. I would have been absolutely cooked.
Interesting.
And then it was like, you've unlocked an alternate path to the necropolis, to which I've played probably a ton of runs since then. Haven't found it. Don't know where it is. Don't know how to get there, but I got a little thumbs up animation that said, you did it. And I was like, it has a natural curiosity to that game. That is awesome. I definitely was turned off, similar to Mark, to the art style. And I'd known stuff about the plot in the past, just spoilers and everything. I assumed the plot wasn't that important, probably, but I definitely don't pay very much attention to it at all. It's definitely about the gameplay, for sure. But I didn't realize how much of it is so ultra-violent, it's almost like a parody. It reminds me very similar, not only in its style, but in its soundtrack even a little bit, very ambient, kind of creepy, to classic 90s Doom, where it's like a huge percentage of, classic 90s Doom is complete nonsense, right? I mean, the whole reason you're on Mars trying to get into hell is, because they killed your bunny rabbit. That's the opening plot point of original Doom, is they killed your pet rabbit. There's
OG John Wick.
Yeah, there's very similar, like, ridiculous things, or like in like Doom 2 famously, when you're on the like Hell on Earth segments and there's people like, thank you for saving me, and then you like try to help them and they just explode when you touch them, like very horrid graphic shit for the sake of just the insanity of it. The game definitely does that as well, which makes me weirdly nostalgic, even though I never played Isaac. I get that Doom vibe from it when I'm playing. But I love the gameplay. It's really good. It's so easy to pick up. There's so many items. Like, I don't think I've got the same thing like twice, really. It's impressive. And there's so many more. So many alternate characters that completely change the game. Like one of my best runs I had was on Azazel, who's like plays like Ikaruga, if people played that classic Japanese bullet hell game, where you charge your blast instead, you don't just spam the button, right? Plays very similar to like Ikaruga, where you just fly in circles and try and do that, right? Very fun. I look forward to playing more of it. I'll probably play it like tonight when we finish the podcast, to be honest. I'll pick it up. Great game on Steam Deck as well, by the way. Phenomenal game to play handheld.
Oh, yes.
I've been playing it a lot there. But that's probably all I can say about it. It's so good. I want to experience more to talk about it more in depth. But so far, very good. Boss variety is amazing. And it's only going to get better and better. Especially considering I've experienced it backwards, where I played Mugenics first.
Well, I was going to bring it up. Now that I'm thinking about it, I'm like, oh my goodness, how much of Mugenics do we not know? Because I got that game too, and I played a bit of it, and I'm like, this was fun. This was a fun little game. But now I'm starting to. It's like the same DNA, right? Like you do a run, and you're like, okay, I kind of saw everything, right?
I re-downloaded it.
Like,
true story. Right now, I re-downloaded it like yesterday. because when I'm done with Isaac, and I intend to play a lot more Isaac, I do want to go back to Mugenics. It's a game that I kind of let pass by because a bunch of other big titles came out. And true
Yeah.
story, right hand to God himself. It shows you your friends' Steam achievements. My good friend Will, shout out to him, he listens
Nice.
to the podcasts, got the achievement and it says defeated Hitler. And I said,
What?
Oh yeah.
interesting. I didn't even. What?
I didn't even know Hitler was in the game.
Yeah, so
I'm
I'm gonna have to
thinking
go back
about
to
it now,
Mugenics,
you know?
especially as local turn-based enjoyer. Definitely need to go back to
Yeah.
Mugenics.
Fuck.
Um,
They should just slip that into every game. It doesn't even matter what genre
Dude,
it is.
Persona
or if
2
it's part of
reference.
the
Defeated
story.
Hitler.
Persona 2 Eternal
the
Punishment
next
reference.
Sims, for Sims 5, it just has an achievement: defeated Hitler.
The Elder
Guess you gotta
Scrolls
figure it
6
out.
has the mission.
Elder Scrolls 6, defeated Hitler.
Everybody likes to beat up Nazis, man.
But yeah, I wanted to bring up one very interesting point you made, Willis, about it being a parody. For those that don't know, that is all a parody on religion.
Yeah,
Every
definitely.
single thing you're seeing, all the characters besides 4 is a story from the Bible. It literally is a story from the Bible. The Binding of Isaac is the name of the story from the Bible.
Yeah.
Of the story of Abraham about to sacrifice his son Isaac. The name of that story is The Binding of Isaac. I subscribe to a very, I don't want to say niche, but an interesting conspiracy of every time you interact with an angel in The Binding of Isaac, you're interacting with Satan, and anytime you interact with the devil, you're interacting with God.
It does
And
kind of, yeah.
the biggest excuse I have for that is the devil items and the angel items and how you get them reflects God or Satan, right?
Right.
The angel items are better, don't require a sacrifice of yourself to get. It's like the easier path.
Hmm.
Some in certain religious circles will say that's Satan. Just living your life easy, not sacrificing your sins or whatever,
Yeah.
just going into your temptations, taking the easy way out is taking the way of the devil. But in Binding of Isaac, that's how you get angel items. How you get devil items is sacrifice pieces of your life. Give up drugs, give up alcohol, give up this, give up that, give up the
Yeah.
sins of flesh. I think every time you interact with angels in the Binding of Isaac, you're interacting with the devil. So it was very interesting to hear you say the word parody because it is all a parody on religion. Every single
Definitely.
item, every single character, it is. So love that game. I double checked right now. I have 1,142 hours.
Wow. Wow.
I love that game. That's been in my life forever. The original Binding of Isaac, I have 150. Rebirth, 1,143. And that's not even counting whatever was on Newgrounds, where,
Right.
like Mark said, it literally ended on the foot at Newgrounds.
Yeah.
Like
Oh wow.
Newgrounds ended into the foot, and then it would just end. But now it's become this amazing thing, and Edmund McMillan, you deserve all of it because that is a beautiful story. Everything. So
Also, I just want to add, I want to thank Glenn for clarifying the story to somebody who didn't know it, because my initial impression of the Binding of Isaac, this is going to sound really stupid, was that you see this little boy and you see like these fucked up creatures that he has to fight. For the longest time, when I first saw that game back in the day, I thought it was supposed to be some sort of take on, here's young Isaac from Dead Space fighting some cartoonified versions of the necromorphs from like Dead Space. Cause I just went, oh, his name's Isaac. And then this game's name is also Isaac. And he's fighting some fucked up like weird demon creatures. So clearly this is a Dead Space reference. But no, actually,
No.
it's referencing the Bible. So thank you for clarifying that to me. Because I
Yeah.
swear to you, the longest time, every time I heard about
That's
that game, I
funny.
went like, "Oh yeah, it's that cartoony Dead Space game." Yeah.
Yeah, no. It's a spin-off of the Bible, not a
Okay.
spin-off of the Dead Space.
From the
It's
makers
the
of
Bible DLC. Yeah.
yeah, DLC
Yeah,
expanded
no.
edition. No, I mean,
Yep.
I kind of agree with your theory, I think. I mean, maybe that's because I'm predisposed to a theory like that. Cause, I mean, I don't want to say this without giving away major spoilers for one of my favorite games. I'll say this. Your theory is very prevalent to the plot of Persona 5. I can say that. That is
Very
very
interesting.
much a huge part of that game as well, is this idea of perhaps what looks good on the outside is not actually so good, and perhaps even down to religious commentary as well, to a point where you're pretty accurate. You get pretty accurate there.
Mhm.
But I definitely can see that. I see that same energy in Isaac a little bit. That's definitely present in that game, which I obviously love. I've talked about it so many times.
Yeah. Really fun. It's also fun, like on the wiki, there's like paragraph dedicated to where it aligns, like in the Bible. For example, if you get like the item, the rosary, you look it up on what it does in the wiki, it'll literally have a paragraph being like, rosaries are used by nuns, da 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 da, and like go into like
Yeah,
why that's a
that's cool.
religious thing in the game and why it's there. It is very fun. That's how I've known like half of the Bible stories I know are from Binding of Isaac. Literally every single tarot card ever, I only recognize because of the Binding of Isaac.
Yeah, I was
Wow.
about to,
It's like I've memorized all of those tarot cards because hey, Hierophant gives you 2 blue hearts. Reverse Hierophant gives you 2 bone hearts. Little spoiler right there.
Oh,
There's reverse tarot cards. And yeah, High Priestess makes the mom foot kill an enemy, whatever's in the room. It's a good trait to memorize back when item
No, yeah.
descriptions
Mhm.
weren't there.
yeah.
I also only know
Because
those
now
through video
everything you can just
games.
open that up.
Similarly with
Yeah,
Persona
exactly.
again, all of the confidants are a different one of the cards, right? You know, like Ryuji's
Hell
the
yeah.
tower and all of that. And when you level them up, their
Tower's
story
good.
usually reflects those things. It's funny. I don't know anything about fortune telling. That's not my vibe at all. But
Yeah.
funnily enough, I also know it for a similar reason.
Right. You guys know the cards.
Yeah, just
Nice.
I know
purely
the
from
cards.
that.
Yeah, I don't know what it means in the real world, but yeah,
Exactly.
you know, I know the chariot gives you 30 seconds of invincibility in Isaac. So
And then they're like, "What?"
Yeah. Getting your fortune read, they give you like the
oh
death
man.
card. You're like, I get to hang out with the goth doctor from Persona 5. They're like,
Oh
what?
my gosh, that's awesome. 40 damage in a room.
This does sound insane.
That's exactly how if they hit me with the moon, bro, I'm like, oh, instant teleportation to the secret room? I'll take that shit all day.
Dude, discounts on the items in the shop.
Let's go.
The fortune teller would be like, "Oh, okay, yeah, that'll be $50. Okay.
Exactly. Hey, hermit card teleports you to the shop for free.
Yeah."
Don't need to spend a key.
walking out of my reading, like my confidants have leveled up. But yeah,
All right.
I think we can probably wrap up there. This was a really good podcast.
I think
A
so
lot of
too.
content.
That was a really
Yeah.
good one.
Absolutely, that was great.
Thank you,
Fun,
Marco, for
good
making your
time.
3x3 and telling us
Yes,
how much it
amazing
matters to you.
3x3.
Yes.
Really good.
Thank you. Thanks for letting me share it. I appreciate it very much.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I
And if you guys at home, oh sorry, go ahead first. I saw you winding up.
Oh no. I think I was gonna say what you're about to say.
I was gonna say if you if you're a big fan and you want to tell us your favorite games, join our Discord, subscribe to the channel, follow me on social media. We're very active. We're happy to talk to anybody. We're all excited about all that stuff. And tune in every week. You know, we're live Wednesdays around 4:30, 5 o'clock EST, depending on people's schedules and everything. But around there. And then I'm also live on Mondays and Fridays. So you can find me there. So yeah, check us out everywhere you can consume, social media. There's clips and everything. We're currently only putting the podcast on YouTube, but I'd love to one day put them on other streaming services and stuff when, if it starts to get an audience and everything. That would be awesome. So yeah, follow, subscribe, all that jazz. Tell us your favorite stuff in the comments below. And please click share and share this with your friends, especially if they love turn-based combat, so they can get mad every time we talk about turn-based combat.
And Avowed.
And Avowed.
And Avowed.
And Avowed, yes, Avowed lovers in mobile gaming.
Avowed lovers in shambles from the announcement today.
Wait a minute.
But yeah, we'll leave it there. Thank you everyone so much for tuning in. The VOD will hopefully be up tomorrow or the next day. We'll see. I should have it nice and edited for everybody. So take care, everyone. Goodbye.
Much
love. See you all
this
later.
is, excuse me, a damn fine cup of coffee.